News 4 Jax starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Move everyone out of the press conference.
Now at noon, a showdown at the governor's planned news conference. Earlier this morning, a group of local political activists forcibly removed.
Go and get the governor. I'm through talking to you. Go and get the governor.
If you're done talking to me, you can
Go and get the governor. Make me leave.
All right, let's go.
Make me leave.
It's after that heated exchange between local political activist Ben Frazier and members of the governor's staff. Frazier was arrested and removed from the building. JSO officers put Frazier into a cruiser and gave trespassing warnings to the small group of activists that were there with him. About a half hour later, the governor held that news conference, but in a different place. The local station's on top of this story, covering several angles. We begin with Jim Piggott, who is live at the state office building. Jim.
You know, this is the complex right off Davis Street where I'm standing, where all of this happened, upstairs and outside here. Now, Ben Frazier's he's very vocal. He's always been protesting, been trying to get his message across. Well, he did that today, and he told me a little bit earlier that he was ready to be arrested. But I want to show you some video that Ben actually sent me after he was arrested, sitting in the back of the police car as the officer is describing the charges against him. Take a listen.
Notice to appear citation in lieu of a physical arrest and going to jail is what you were issued today.
But I was, in fact, arrested.
You were arrested and you are being released on your own recognizance, and that's the way JSO policy is written, yes, sir. For certain crimes, citizens can be issued a notice to appear if you qualify for it, and today you did qualify for that, Mr. Frazier, so therefore you were issued to it like any other citizen would be, and you're released on your own recognizance, and you'll have to follow up with the courts in regards to the charges at a later date.
It's suspected that he's being charged with trespassing, though, as you heard, the officer never said that. Ben was released. In fact, just a short time ago, I talked to him about what his goal was with all of this, what he thinks of what happened. Here's what he told me. What do you think of all of this? What happened to you in there? What do you think this says?
I think it's another stunning example of the governor's attempt to stop black organizers from protesting peaceably. First Amendment rights and public expression is critical to a functioning democracy. This is what this is all about. The governor should not attempt to stop the people from being heard.
You know, they're charging you with trespassing on this. What did you want to get across? What were you protesting?
We're protesting the fact that this governor has been an enemy of the people. It's about time that we call it just like it is. This governor has attempted to stop us from exercising our First Amendment rights, which are the most basic and fundamental rights of the American democracy. This governor has been asleep at the wheel during the pandemic, and in recent weeks he has been, in fact, missing in action as it relates to what to do about the pandemic.
You told me you were planning to get arrested if that came to this choice. Do you plan to continue these types of protests?
We will continue in the tradition of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and John Lewis to make good trouble. The fact of the matter is that this is nothing new in terms of the civil rights struggle. This is, in fact, not just a moment. This is a movement. We are accepting the baton in the relay race of history passed on to us by activists who considered to do the same thing long before us.
So you're hearing what Ben Frazier had to say, why he did all this. Of course, we're going to be trying to find out the reaction of what's going on with the governor as well. But Ben's no stranger to this. He's done this before at City Hall, but he's not been arrested before. He was ready for that. For now, we're live downtown. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.
Now, Jim, there were others that were in that same room, back up against the wall, who said, now, we weren't there to protest. We did want to talk to the governor because, number one, we believe that he's been basically missing in action. He hasn't talked to a lot of people who have different philosophies about the way we should be treated when it comes to COVID, and he's not listening to us. We just wanted to hear, what he had to say about our philosophy about COVID, because we too believe he's been missing in action when it comes to COVID.
And that's right, they were there. They had signs as well asking that question. They wanted more testing sites. They wanted the mask mandate, the removal of that, actually to be reinstated for schools. So they had questions as well. but it was Ben Frazier who was the one that was being vocal out there, and that's probably the reason behind his removal. The others followed suit as well.